I'm here, y'all. I'm here. We've made it. We have made it. Everyone, thank you so much for joining In Search of Uhuru. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Let me check one setting real quick. I apologize. Again, I apologize. Let me check one setting real quick to make sure we are cooking with gasoline or gas. Yeah, cooking with gas or hot fire, something like that. Whatever the saying is, cook it with gas. There we go. Cook it with gas. That's what my one of my coaches used to say. Now you cook it with gas. So everyone, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. Announcement number one. You see this right here? You see that? Don't pay attention. Ignore my ashy knuckles. But you see this right here? Sierra Leone citizenship is back on, y'all. Sierra Leone citizenship is back on. So if you're interested in getting your citizenship in Sierra Leone, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. I am, I guess, facilitating a group or coordinating a group in April, which is next month. Man, it's already almost April. Y'all, we almost done with quarter one already. I remember, again, I remember we were just in January. We were just in Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. Now it's already almost April. It's already almost April. Expat Afro millennial couple. Hey, let me expat Afro millennial couple. Let me ask you this: can you? And this is a good question. A little bit off topic, but can you be pro Democratic Party, pro Kamala Harris, pro Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whatever AOC, pro Sleepy Joe Biden, and be pro Africa? That's my that's a question I have. And our question is how are you going to be pro MAGA and pro Africa? And it isn't that I'm pro MAGA. It's I'm pro a man is a man, a woman is a woman. Again, I'm pro a man is a man, a woman is a woman. I'm pro transgender women should not be playing sports with biological women. I'm pro if I were to have a daughter, that a transgender woman, which is a man, should not be sharing the same space as my daughter. That's what I'm pro. So I don't know how that's not pro Africa. If expat Afro millennial couple, if you could help me out. I mean, does that make sense? Aren't you anti-DEI? I am pro that Black America and Black Americans are talented enough that we don't need DEI. I am pro that Black people benefited the least from DEI. And it's embarrassing because if you look at Bloody Sunday, all right, you look at Bloody Sunday and you see John Lewis, you see MLK getting their butts getting eaten and bitten by German shepherds, sprayed down with water hose at the front lines, on the front lines, getting beat over the head with billy clubs by police. And in return, white women benefited the most from DEI. A white man can wake up tomorrow, a heterosexual white man can wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm a woman. Or I identify as LGBTQ, whatever. He now skips the line. I just think that DEI was not a win for Black people. And the pain we went through for that, it's embarrassing. I don't know if that was part of MLK Jr.'s plan for it to play out like that. But yeah, I don't know. And we're fighting the most when it comes to this anti-DEI-ism. Black people are fighting the most against it, but we benefit the least. We benefit the least. You asked me, am I pro segregation? Well, I think it was MLK Jr. that said he's afraid that we integrate into a burning house. So I'm just saying, that's what MLK Jr. said. But again, expat Afro millennial couple. If you vote for Bernie, if you vote Democrat, do you consider that being? Can you vote Democrat and be pro Africa? That's my question to you, expat Afro millennial couple. Can you vote Democrat and be pro Africa? That's my question. Anyways, guys, let's get back on topic. We are rolling to Sierra Leone in April. Then we're going to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. Then we are going to Nigeria in August, Zanzibar in September, Namibia and South Africa in November, then back to Sierra Leone in December. If you are interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. You know, there's a clip I wanted to pull up, and I don't think I saved it. But we're going to pull some other clips up because we're going to have fun tonight, okay? We're going to have fun tonight. But tonight's topic, people in 2025 are still pushing the your social security number. If you add a zero in front of it, again, your social security number, if you add a zero in front of it, it's tied to a banking account at the Federal Reserve that has millions of dollars. People are still pushing this. People are still pushing this. It's ridiculous. But I want to pull up some clips, of our social security number is attached to a bank account at the Federal Reserve. And just how it doesn't work out. And how it doesn't work out. How do we get to this point? How do we get to this point of being a so-called indigenous sovereign citizen? Like I said, I think it comes from the court system, the prison system. like it's you like you can't avoid the grind. Like people want a easy way out. And so they come with all this oh guys, here we go. Here we go. Here goes one. Here goes one. Here goes our friends right here. And people are still eating this up and still thinking
Stop
this is gonna work
researching
out.
with
But you can't
ChatGPT. Its information is
playing
not
sports.
reliable,
You
and
can't
you
keep
can't
the
use it in
grind.
your paper without proper source.
Get out of the beat.
I'm not a fiction, and I'm not under the color of law.
We've covered this sovereign citizen before.
Was that so hard? Why do we have to go through that, bro?
But now we've uncovered another attempt to outlawyer the cops. Let's see what happens when his fantasy world meets cold reality.
Okay, so I'm violating your right. Get out of the vehicle.
The initial stop was for driving without a tag light, but these Broward County officers would soon find a tag light to be the least of their worries.
Let me have your driver license and your registration.
Oh boy, I don't have a driver's license. Here we go.
You don't have driver license, you don't have registration, so what are you doing?
I don't drive. I travel.
Sovereign citizens will often claim
I'm not in that jurisdiction. I I don't drive, I travel. Oh God.
that they are in travel status and not driving, arguing that driving is a commercial activity. Relying on this reasoning, sovereign citizens will often forge their own driver's licenses, license plates, and other official documents.
Council jurisdiction, man.
Okay, do me a favor, get out of the vehicle.
No.
Turn off the car and get out of the vehicle. Turn off the car.
Oh, there goes his Moorish flag. Hold on. There goes his Moorish flag. Oh boy. There goes his Moorish flag. Oh Lord. The treaty. You know, the treaty. The treaty. There goes his Moorish flag.
Turn off the car and get out of the vehicle.
You really gonna violate me right here?
Yes. Turn off the car and get out of the vehicle, sir. This is the last time that I'm gonna ask you for it.
I gave you my national identification card, man.
Get out of the vehicle,
You are
sir.
really violating the national.
Do you need a Florida driver license? Not this.
I don't drive, sir.
Okay.
I'm not in your jurisdiction.
Get
sir.
out of the vehicle.
Can you call your supervisor?
My jurisdiction is Broward
Can
County.
you call your supervisor?
Get out of the vehicle.
Can you call
Sir,
your
you
supervisor?
need to make this a lot easier on yourself by just exiting the vehicle for us.
Listen, can you call
Just
your
get out of the
supervisor?
vehicle.
We've asked you more than once now. We've asked you a few times.
Can you call your supervisor?
Get
No,
out of the vehicle, sir.
I'm not getting
You
out
need
of
a driver license to drive in the state of Florida.
A driver's license. I don't
Sir.
need registration. I don't need none of that. I'm not in your
Sir,
jurisdiction.
get out of the vehicle.
Counselor jurisdiction. That's the law. It's on my window. You
Get
see my
out of
flag?
the vehicle.
You
Get
see
out
my
of
flag?
get out of the vehicle.
Oh man, you said you see my flag?
Call your supervisor.
Okay, this is the last warning for you to get out of the vehicle.
Can
Okay?
you call your supervisor for me?
Sir, if you don't get out of the car, we're going to take you out of the car. Understand that. We're asking you to go ahead and just step to the back.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. You choose.
So you're gonna violate?
Nobody's violating your rights. We're
You
asking
are
you to come out
violating
of the
my
car.
rights by telling me to get out of my vehicle. You
Okay,
violate
so
my
I'm violating your right. Get out of the vehicle.
You can't violate the law. Bro.
Get out of the vehicle, sir.
Call your supervisor.
I'm gonna call my supervisor. Get out of the vehicle.
Call your supervisor.
When you get out of the car and you step back here, we'll call our supervisor. We want to talk to you out of the car.
Here right now. I need your supervisor here right now. Right now. I am not exiting my conveyance.
Yes, you are
No, I'm
exiting
not.
your vehicle.
No, I'm not. Call your supervisor for me.
Sir, this is the last time that I'm gonna ask you.
Call your supervisor.
For Alpha 7.
Call your supervisor. Because you're violating the national.
have
You had
one
no
extra?
reason to pull me over at all.
94 to my 1020,
What was your
please.
probable cause to pull me over? You had no reason.
You don't have driver license.
Listen, you had no reason to pull me
Okay.
over. It's because of the report that I did earlier today about my accident. Yeah. So there's no probable cause of you.
Okay. I'm gonna call my supervisor when you get out of the vehicle.
I'm not a fiction, and I'm not under the color of law.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not under the color of law. I'm a national.
Well, so you can send it there. We're gonna have one minute.
Get up. Wait a sec.
The color hope the 56 block music 506
No.
Hello. 2314. 12 out of 7 everything at 4. Yep. 2314.
Get the badge off. Move your foot.
The suspect was charged with resisting without violence, driving with a suspended driver's license, driving without a tag light, failure to display registration, driving without insurance, and other minor infractions. The suspect pled nolo contendere to resisting arrest and driving with a suspended license, exchange for all other charges to be dropped. He was assessed fines totaling over $300 and is currently late on payments, ensuring that it won't be long before we have more on this sovereign citizen.
A great reminder to get your legal advice from a real lawyer, not some random account on TikTok.
Here goes another one.
Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Grab my stuff. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You're under arrest. I am not. Excuse me. I am not under arrest. I am not under arrest. This is no. Excuse me. No. Excuse me. Geronimo Bay. I came into a
Geronimo Bay is here on behalf of the Murphy matter.
Murphy matter.
Excuse me. We came in special appearance on the Murphy matter, and he is attempting.
Judge is abandoned ship.
Judge is abandoned ship. Excuse me. Judge is
no
abandoned
warrant.
ship. That we are here on special appropriate persona on the Murphy matter.
And he has
abandoned ship. Do not.
He has proof that he is not Andre Murphy.
Not touch me.
He's not Andre. He's not Andre Murphy. Yep. I need badge numbers and everything. I got him. Hey, Dre, Geronimo, don't resist. Geronimo, don't resist.
I'm not. Give me your hand. I'm not resisting. Give me your hand. I'm not resisting.
He's not resisting. That's not mine. It's not your property.
In January 2023, an officer was conducting routine patrol when he began following an SUV in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
All right, I got another one for you. Here we go. Lord, we got to stop this pseudoism.
I remember even tapping into bank accounts and everything off my social security. And I remember it was 6 accounts in my name. I called the Federal Reserve Bank. I'm like, why do I got an account with $6 million in it that I've never opened myself? How did you get access to your account? That's when they really started messing with us. That's not the question. Why do I got an account with $6 million? Why do I got a Bank of America account with $20 million in it and I never had a Bank of America account? Who the hell is using the money? Then you start tracking down your social security number, putting a 0 in front of it, which makes it a 10-digit bank account number. Then you look at your birth certificate number, which is your routing number. So now you're like, hold on, I got a bank with all this money. And then you start realizing what Social Security is. And then basically you working for free. And then they're paying you little bitty percentages or fractions out of the account that you already had all this money built in because you're a natural born law-abiding citizen of the creator and not of man. So it's different types of tiers you operate on. You can operate as an indigenous in the private as your natural born body self, or you can operate as a corporation, which is the name your mother and father gave you right before they sold you over and got a Social Security number.
So all I got to do is call the Federal Reserve. That's all I got to do. Call the Federal Reserve, Put a 0 in front of my social security number, and I got $20 million. But Black Americans as a collective are the poorest people in America. On Skid Row is nothing but us. I live here in Atlanta, the Black Mecca. If you guys are familiar with Atlanta, when you're going down Memorial Drive by the prison, downtown where the Capitol buildings are, nothing but a homeless encampments under the freeway, under the 2020 freeway, 2075 freeway. Nothing but us. Baltimore. Black children can't read. But we can end all of this right now just by calling the Federal Reserve and putting a 0 in front of your social security number. Again, all you gotta do is call the Federal Reserve. Call the Federal Reserve. Put a 0 in front of your social security number, and you got 20 million racks access to it. 20 million. We yelling, crying, gentrification. We could have been bought back the block. We could have been bought back the block. Hell, we all got 20 million in the Federal Reserve. We all got 20 million. Does the Federal Reserve have a damn? Can you call the? Hold on. Can you call the Federal Reserve? Do they got a phone number? They got a phone number. Okay, the main Federal Reserve. Okay, they got a number. So all you gotta do is call, guys. So everybody call the Federal Reserve. Tell them Dr. Yaki sent you, and get your 20 million. Call them tomorrow. Let me know how that works out. Let me know how that works out. Call the Federal Reserve, get your money. Remember, 0, then social security number. And you got access. Jesus, man. Yeah, just call. Hey, I'll let them collect my $20 million check. Send me my money. Send me my money. Got 20 million in the bank. There goes our reparations. Forget the reparations. Just call the Federal Reserve and put a 0 for their social security number. And people be eating this shit up. You can only call the Federal Reserve Bank if you're a bank. I don't know. We're gonna call. It's 8:30, so it's too late. It's probably closed. What we gonna call? I'm gonna get my 20 million. I'm gonna get my 20 million. We gotta stop this. I'm gonna get my 20 million. Let me run this back.
This week, we're hosting a free trading and investing workshop right here in Atlanta.
Inside this workshop.
What's going on? It's your boy Aristotle Investment. We back with
I
another
remember
episode
even
of
tapping
Out.
into bank accounts and everything off my social security. And I remember it was 6 accounts in my name. I called the Federal Reserve Bank. I'm like, why do I got an account with $6 million in it that I've never opened myself? How did you get access to your account? That's when they really started messing with us. That's not the question. Why do I got an account with $6 million? Why do I got a Bank of America account with $20 million in it and I never had a Bank of America account? Who the hell is using the money? Then you start tracking down your social security number, putting a 0 in front of it, which makes it a 10-digit bank account number. Then you look at your birth certificate number, which is your routing number. So now you're like, hold on, I got a bank with all this money. And then you start realizing what social security is. And then basically you working for free. And then they're paying you little bitty percentages or fractions out of the account that you already had all this money built in because you're a natural born law-abiding citizen of the creator and not of man. So it's different types of tiers you operate on. You can operate as an indigenous in the private as your natural born body self, or you can operate.
What's going on? It's your boy Aristotle.
Indigenous in the private as your natural born body self. He ain't right. He's not right. Stop it. He's not right. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in. Listen, if you got your 20 million, call in and tell me how you got it. If you got your 20 million. Guys, make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit that like button as well. Well, he said if you want to be a private indigenous person or whatever, you get your 20 million. Yeah, if you got your 20 million, man, put me on. So guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Hit the like button. Guys are welcome to call in and yeah, man, tell me about that 20 million. Shoot, I'll be the first to apologize. I'll be the first to retract my statement. If you say, hey, Donis, here's the 20 million, here's the proof. I'm gonna buy this, I bought that, I invested in this, I bought that, I got this land, I got this infrastructure. Yeah. Go ahead, Theo.
Hey, good evening, Donis.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, listen, I've been hearing about this, the whole sovereign citizen thing for a long time, but it kind of all goes along with the same, same old other stuff. And I'm just coming to the conclusion that a lot of folks are just really trying to escape reality, man, one way or the other. I just really do think some people have a hard time dealing with the reality of what it is to be Black in America, what it is to be an African American. So everybody's looking for some fantastic story, something fantastic. And being African or descendant of Africa, that's not fantastic enough. Being Black ain't fantastic enough. And it's just kind of wild, man. It's almost like I actually have a little empathy though for it. As I think about it, but that's the only conclusion I can come to is that folks are really trying to escape the reality. And it's almost understandable, man, because if you just look at the reality, sometimes it just really sucks, right? But I don't think it helps by a long shot.
Here we go, Ty. Here we go, Theo. Bakari Akil Bey. I'm neither Black or African American. Being Black is a status. There we go.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yo. And you notice old boy when he was he got on the phone with the Federal Reserve, he never completely told you how the conversation went. He just jumped from asking them, hey, why do I have this money, to talking about adding a zero. But I'm sure they had to tell him something. He called him.
I want everybody to call tomorrow and get your money. Get your money.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's 40 million times 20 million? That's more than the GDP, ain't it?
What's that? God, is that 80 billion, 800 billion? I don't know. 800
It's more
billion?
than that. It's more than that, brother.
Yeah.
That's got to be $1 trillion.
Yeah.
8 trillion, maybe somewhere up there.
All right, go ahead, Robinson. Unmute yourself, Robinson. Robinson, unmute yourself. Robinson, can't hear you. Can't hear you, Robinson. Guys, links in the chat room. Theo, were you trying to ask something, Theo?
No. I'm actually was trying to do the math on that 20 million times 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what we worth as a black community.
Yeah.
Might be worth.
Listen, all our problems will be solved damn near. All the, in poverty, and we could build a million Black Wall Streets.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, man, right? This guy right here, I mean, you would think he would go to lengths to make sure at least by now he's got at least 100 people that 20 million have done something, significant with it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what significant have you done with this 20 million?
Right. And man, if you find out there's a bank account with 20 million in it and you ain't did $20 million worth of work a day in your life, come on, man. That's and you know what? The whole the sovereign citizen thing, that's just, it's like another form of a sense of entitlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not to overanalyze these cats, man, but that's another thing. Everybody's seeking some form of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm entitled to America because I was here first. I'm entitled to Israel because we the chosen people. I'm entitled to not drive, but travel because, I'm a sovereign citizen. So I don't need license. I don't need, I can circumvent the whole system while driving through the system.
Right.
I'm entitled to something. I'm entitled to 20 million at the Federal Reserve. I mean, come on, man.
Go ahead, Joe.
How you doing? You can hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. I just got in, so I don't really know what y'all been talking about earlier. Like, I seen the topic, and what I would say about this topic, I'm not too much of an expert, but I've been like reading more on it, and they have a point, but they don't have but they looking at it the wrong way. Like for me, when I've been studying the Olmecs, if you actually look at the culture, which a lot of them don't, they just hear something and run off with it. You will see the similarities between the Olmecs, Olmecs, the Indus Valley in India, and Egypt also. They got. Can you guys receive like pictures in here that I can send in?
Share your screen. Present your screen.
All right. Hold on. Let me pull it up first though.
Yeah. Why you get it together? Let me pass it to Robinson. Go ahead, Robinson.
Yo, peace, man. I really want to love you, man. This is the dopest topic. Every time you cover it, man, you get me excited. I'm gonna try to keep my emotions intact because it's a very intelligent conversation. Before I start, may I ask, what is the question that we are trying to tackle today?
Is your social security number, if you put a 0 in front of it, is it linked to a bank account at the Federal Reserve?
That would be true. If you notice that the Federal Reserve is what's attached
So
to
then
the...
Robinson, I'm sorry. Then my follow-up question would be, and I'll let you continue.
Okay.
How do you access the money? Do you know anyone who's accessed the money, and what have they done with it? Go ahead.
Okay. There's a few ways you access the money, but I wouldn't say that brother who gave us that insert of calling the Federal Reserve and getting 20 million, that's pseudo. The way you tap into the Federal Reserve is one certification that qualifies you for pay or skilled trade, retirement, 401ks, those type of programs, right? He is correct that your birth certificate, that you are, all of us Negroes, native to your lands, that they wrote in adoption of the state of how much the federal bank can have in reserve for you as a corporation individually. You are a corporation because you are an agricultural part of the land. So you being worth the 20 million is about the amount of gold that would be acquired to the landmass that you were taken from. Just in one state, you got 20 million per person in agriculture as far as their product and family and wealth and trade, as well as like their lifespan. So you got your children, who is the children's children, you're gonna keep making money out of the agricultural sun. So yes, that's part of the adoptive program that caused us, pushed us from the Freeman Act of our Dawes rolls here in the States. There's every land has this, where they've taken the natives and changed their title from native to nationalist, whether it been African American or Filipino. Those are bought out programs of the Jewish state. And the Jewish state is the Federal Reserve that when you go into the military and you get say you do your 20 years or your retirement, anybody, whoever joins any company, they're all attached to this Jewish bank, which is backed by the land that they have you documented for owning. And that's where your 20 million is looking at. I've never seen personally, no, never seen anybody call the Federal Reserve, yo, how's my account? No, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. So I'm not going to say that's true, but I do know that if you are a documented federal, let me say it like this. If you're documented and identified by the federal government, you'll get a check. That's what happens with the Native Americans, or whom call themselves Native American. They get a check each month from the Federal Reserve.
Robinson, do you get a check each month?
I do. But not from my Seminole identification. I get my check from the military department, which is still the same bank of federal government.
No. Well, did you serve in the military?
Yes, I did.
Well, that's why you get your checks. You served in the military.
Right, but that's how you communicate it to the authority to release it. That's one way. That's one way.
No, you served in the military, so you get paid your military stipend or retirement.
No, after service, I'm talking. After service, after you get out.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who get it. Robinson, let me ask you this: you're military. Do you get disability?
Yes, I get retirement and my disability. Yes.
Okay. So that's why you're getting a check from the military, because it's retirement and disability.
But it's also the same bank is tied to your Social Security program.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, if you're going for social services of mental health or things of that nature, it's still in that bank account too. Now, I mean, you can go claim for disability. Anybody can.
Oh yeah. What I noticed, like everybody I know who's in the military or was in the military, they all get disability. I don't know how y'all work that hustle, but y'all all disabled somehow. Now I know some people like who are disabled for real.
We went to war, brother.
But the majority,
a lot of us went to combat and came back really messed up. Now we're not the same person our mother and father had when we left. That's for sure. I mean, you can go over there, you're gonna find out. Like, go to prison and then same thing, almost same thing, but just be traumatized by.
Okay, so it's more like emotional disability.
Nah, if you wouldn't, I can't really say over these lines what we did. You know what I'm saying?
I just know everyone I know who served in the military, they all get disability, whether it's they went to war or not. I don't know how y'all work it.
No, well, I will tell you about military. Is basically it is a psychological op. It's going to take you from your natural way of life, and it's going to program you into being the same thing as the person right next to you.
You went out, Robinson.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
My fault. It's a transition of programming that creates everybody to be the same, regardless of creed, emotion, background, all of that. So when you're taking people from, whether they can be all these different types of people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like This person doesn't learn with auditory. He learns by sight. Well, he's going to be thrown into the auditory program. So that's going to transfer his psychology out of his natural way of thinking to be less functional with his formal way of thinking and in more of a programmed way of thinking. Once you get programmed, you done lost yourself. You're not getting that dude back. So that's a big part of your mental health that is gone from just as men, period. Going to work every day. Your mental health is a part of your performance. So after
But
the time,
Marvin, I'm trying to figure out because again, like everybody I know, specifically black people who served in the military, no matter what, they all get disability. And you just mentioned, you brought up corporate America. I'm like, what do black people in corporate America got to do to get disability for the rest of their life by just going to a job?
well, your retirement is supposed to pay into that. That's what the Social Security program was. It's an adoptive program, a bill of sale from the state, right? And it's really not ours. So somebody's asking if I got my 20 million. No, I'm not. I'm not the person saying or validating that this thing is correct, that we can actually call the federal. I'm telling y'all that that's not true. No, I do not have my 20 million. I just know how to communicate to the federal government if you do need your monies. And you have to qualify from whether you went through one point. You got to go through their institution for it, though. Whether it's going through work exploratory, combat, they got all the institutions for you. You put your time and tenure in, and it clocks out. But yeah, it clocks you in at this 20 mil. It's crazy. Yes, I've seen that account, though. I have seen what your birth certificate looks like with the zero. Then you're right, which is yes, that's part of how they lace you up in the military for your copay. Is they put all those in. You can see like, what the hell is that? But
Where did you
it's
see
more
that?
than, I saw that in the military when I was registering for overseas duty.
Where?
When I was in the Navy in 2003, I was. We have to. When you go overseas, you set up an offshore account that takes it's going to be untaxed money when you get over to Iraq. So to take that money, you put it in an offshore account, and it's like an LLC basically in your name. And
Where did you see it though?
I saw it on my
What through what platform? What app or website?
Well, this is going to be through the military DFAS, which is the program that pays you in the military. It's your paycheck stub.
So where did you see it though? Where?
Meaning, I saw it on the computer, of course, at the bank at the military. Well, USA or Navy Federal, if you would, Navy Federal.
Wait, Navy Federal is open to the public.
No, it's not. Only to the military personnel. You got to
That was once upon a time.
No. But if you're related to military personnel,
right,
you
that
can
you
get
be
it.
related to them. Now you're military personnel. You're a dependent of the military personnel. Yes, that's military personnel.
So you're saying you were at Navy Federal?
Yes, at Navy Federal, and we
okay.
had to switch my Navy Federal account to this offshore account, and they put all these zeros in my joint. I'm like, yo, whoa, what's that? It was a Navy Federal account, y'all. $60 million.
Wait. Hold on. You had a Navy Federal account with 60 million in it.
60 million.
In a Navy Federal account?
In a Navy Federal account that's going offshore to pay from, it's coming from the federal government. It's got 60 million in its roster. And I don't know what
how did you see it?
They were switching my account. So I had to joint. Okay. So when you get paid from the DFAS, the military, it's a direct deposited, right? So you would change that direct deposit to enter into a new account. And that's where I saw it. When they were entering in my direct deposit information to take my social security, all my identification, and move it to this offshore account. That account.
Right. But what I'm saying is, okay, you're at the bank when this is happening?
Yes, at the bank.
How did you see it?
I'm standing right. Okay, so I'm standing right here. Well, I'm sitting. You know how they got the screen and it's kind of slant.
You there?
Hello? Yeah, man. Yo.
What you think, Theo?
Well, I think, man, people are very creative. You got creative people in this world, creative storytellers. I think that's a fascinating story. And
You
I
being polite.
absolutely,
Yo, you being polite. You being polite, but that's good.
Man.
Robinson, you there? Robinson, you there? Go ahead, Joe. Joe, go ahead.
All right, so I can present my screen now?
Yeah, go ahead, present it. I thought you could have been presented it. Go ahead.
Share screen. All right, so how do I? This is my first time like doing the share. Like he'll walk me through it.
Press present button at the bottom.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
did that part. I'm at the part where it say choose what to share to StreamYard.
well, so choose the screen that whatever you want us to see.
All right. So can y'all see me moving the mouse?
No. What are you trying to share?
Like it's pictures, but it's in the video. I'm
okay. So share that. So present that screen. Choose that screen.
Okay. All right, bet. I'm about to do it now. Sorry about that. All right, so the first picture I got is this. Let me see. So y'all see the? Can y'all see that?
Yeah, you're not showing nothing yet. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Leroy Green.
Oh, I forgot to click share my phone.
I don't know nothing about the 60 million and all that, but I do know up here in North America, our Social Security is connected to some source of money. Because when I was growing up in the city, we used our social for several different like things, like free school lunches, like basically like a lot of shit that U.S. will just allocate to us. So like free lunch, free school supplies, like tutors, free Christmas shit. If you disabled, you will give them your Social Security and you will get like $12K a year, or like seven. It's like 7 to 12K. It all depends. So your Social Security is connected to a lot of. I won't say I don't know if it's the Federal Reserve or something, but it is connected to some source of money that is allocated upon you submitting your Social Security. Like you even get the free birth certificate, you can get a free Social Security. Like it's so many things that you can get for free just with your Social Security number.
Well, I think they do that to make sure you are who you say you are. That's why you have to present your Social Security number when you're applying for a lot of these services. It's more identification.
Right. It's like Social Security number is tied to your credit. It's I mean, a lot of people can have the same name. So the Social Security number is usually the unique identifier for most Americans. So it's a better, more reliable way of identifying a person for entitlements and different things like that. But that's not as if your Social Security number automatically has it's tied to a bank account that's sitting there waiting for your use.
I mean, essentially it is. If I submit a Social Security number and I receive a good, essentially it is working in place of money.
Well, but there's nothing allotted to you as an individual. But if you qualify for something, then at that point, based on whatever you're qualifying for, you may be, entitled to something. Like let's say a child. If a child has a parent that passes away,
social, right?
What's that?
You will be qualified based on your social.
Not based on your social, based on the circumstances. The social is just going to identify you, but you're entitled based on your circumstance. Like if you're a child born with a disability or something like that, I think there's some type of Social Security benefit that comes with that. If a child has a parent who passes away, there's something that comes with that. When you get a certain age and you retire, 62, I think. I mean, based on your work history, there's a certain amount that you know.
So in in this realm of thought, those things that you're saying, those could be allocated to a bank. Like you said, you work a certain amount of years and then you submit your Social Security, and now you're being paid off for money that's
Yeah,
inside of
you
your Social
paying
Security.
6.5% of your income, but that's above board. That's you paying 6.5 on
So what
your
about the disabled kid? What did they pay? What about the disabled
what
kids that you just spoke
their
about?
parent was a working the parent who passed away. If they were working and paying into Social Security,
No, but if they're immigrant, they can still receive those same benefits. So what about the first generation immigrant whose parent didn't pay into Social Security or anything? You are already
I mean,
allocated a Social Security which you will receive benefits on.
I don't know if that if that to be true. I'm not saying it ain't true. But that's
We just had we just went 4 years of mass migration because people was receiving benefits even though their parents didn't live in this. Like it was all over
Yeah,
the news.
and it depends. That depended on which state you're in, and that's why Trump. Part of the reason why Trump was elected because he
right.
wants to shut that shit down.
But either way though, that's not to say there's a set amount allocated to each person with a Social Security number that they're drawing off of.
It may not be a set amount, but there is an amount. It may not be set.
No, there's
be set in stone, but there is an amount. Like the money is coming from somewhere, and the money comes from when you submit your social. I'm not saying that I don't know if it's tied to a Federal Reserve or I'm not trying to make this in line with it being a part of your social. You add a zero and all that crazy shit. I don't know.
We have a country with Social Security. I mean, that's no doubt. We have a Social Security system, right?
Yeah,
that provides social security, right? And that Social Security is to basically provide people a sense of security if they retire because of old age, if they're unable to work because of this or disability, and maybe other stuff. But we pay into that. We pay into that 6.5% of your income, and not saying that we're paying into it like it's a bank account. Though you can track your work history, right? You can get an account with Social Security and actually know how much you're gonna get when you retire. So it is kind of tallied up, and I don't know how they do the math as far as like how much you get. I don't think you're getting what's in there isn't exactly what you pay into it over your work history. You may draw more. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know the math. But I guess all I'm saying is it's not because of your Social Security number. I think your Social Security number is just an identifier for the individual part of the program, the Social Security program, which is the Social Security program is for every person, every person. It's not as if, again, you gonna get what you put in. It doesn't work like that, right? It's almost like insurance, I guess you can say.
I don't think
Everybody collectively participates in it,
I
right?
don't think that was the
And
idea
those people who need it at some particular time for whatever circumstance, they can actually benefit from it. I mean, some people
I don't
will
think that's the point Dynus was making. Dynus was saying, like, basically, the Social Security is a source of revenue, and from what you're saying, it's a source of revenue, but other people attribute to it. I'm not, and I'm not saying that the Social Security number itself is an allotted number. I'm not saying that. I'm a contrarian to that. I don't believe that. I never even heard of that until like just now.
Yeah, I mean, most. I mean, if you born in the United States or American citizen, you're gonna get a Social Security number pretty much at birth. That's probably the second document you're gonna get after your birth certificate.
Guys, let me pass the mic back to Joe. Joe, go ahead and play this video. I already know where this is going, but go ahead, Joe. Joe, you got to unmute yourself. Joe.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm here. All right. So Y'all can see the screen now, right?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so like I told you before, I've been studying this a little bit. I ain't too much of an expert. I'm not gonna lie and say I am, but so first of all, when you see like this picture right here, right? Because what they try to sell to you is that all the Olmecs, they had their helmet on. Oh yeah, one more thing too, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that the Olmecs were just indigenous people. My point is they came from Africa. Just to put that out there too. So with that, you see the peak right here. I'm gonna show you a picture from the Mayan Codex. Well, this is also a statue from the. This is with the Pygmy, which were the first people to actually populate the Americas, about at least from my probably 250,000 years ago. They also appear on this, which is also in Egypt. It's the four Pygmies holding up the heavens, which is correlation with the four sons of Horus. You also see it on the Narmer's pile in Egypt in a different way though, with the four Pygmies holding the totem poles, holding up the same thing as holding up the heavens. And that's something you see a lot in this culture with the you see right here, they show you the different that they differentiate between the so-called Native American type and the African pygmy. Again, you see it right there.
How do you know that's an African pygmy?
How do I know that's a pygmy?
African pygmy.
Pygmies only exist in Africa. That's a
Yeah,
thing
but I'm saying, how do you know that's an African pygmy? So you're saying this African pygmy?
All pygmies are African. Yeah, all like the pygmy. That's the thing unique to African.
But how do you know this? So this drawing right here, this was found in North America, correct, or in the West, correct?
Yeah.
So you're saying, how do you know that's a pygmy?
By the size, you can tell by the height.
No. How do you know that's a pygmy?
The height and the facial features and the way it looked.
So you're saying that. So you're saying there are. So you're saying they're only okay. So you're saying that other groups of people can't be short, or
they have doors, but pygmies, their body is proportionate to each other. So they're short, they're shorter, but they're not like doors where the body is bigger than like the limbs. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
and that group is only found in Africa, where their
but
body.
again, how do you know this is a pygmy? Like what? I'm saying, but dude,
Oh, no,
I can look at something.
Like I showed you, the culture is similar, and the pygmies they founded Egypt according to the Egyptians themselves. You feel me?
The pygmies found in Egypt now.
No, that's what's in there. It's in the temple. When you look at the kings list, the first king of Egypt, according to their mythological history now, but myth is just like memory banks. You feel me? But when you look at it, Ptah is the first king of Egypt. In terms of myth, Ptah was a pygmy. When you look also in Egypt, the god.
Yeah, but again, how do you know this is a pygmy? Like what writing, what specific did the Aztecs, whatever this picture, did they call them pygmies? Like what?
I'm showing you that you could see it in the hairstyle.
Ain't no okay. Hold on. Okay, hairstyle. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, hairstyle.
Let me show you. Hold on. I'm
hairstyle. Okay. See this hairstyle. See this hairstyle.
Hold on.
Here, see this hair. Is this guy African? See this hairstyle. Is he African? Is Bob Ross African?
But I showed you more than the hairstyle, Diane.
But I'm saying, is he African? Bob Ross, is he African? Are the
I don't know who
BGs?
Bob Ross is, so I couldn't.
But I'm just saying though, is he African?
From the looks of it, probably not.
But he has an afro.
Well, I'm showing you more than just hairstyle. I'm showing you the culture also. Like,
he paints. He paints. Bob Ross paint. He's a painter. Africans painted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying though, it's not only the facial features.
That's what I'm saying. So Bob Ross is African because of the hair and the paint.
No, it's not because of the hair. I'm saying their culture, like their actual traditions, it's the same. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not just only going by the look. The look is just like something. It's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, let me show you. Like, for example, when we look at the pyramids, you see that it's got the same L-shaped corridor in the pyramids. From the left is Egypt, the right is Mexico. The culture is the same. Let me pull up some more pictures. I'm gonna show you them in the Mayan Codex too, and show you that they had the hairstyle. So this picture right here is the back of the Olmec head. Let me get exactly to it. Hold on. Right here, you see the braids. That's not something you see with Native American people or any other type.
You said that. Say that again.
Huh?
What about the braids?
I said there's not a thing that you see, like, because they try to say these are feathers, but you can see that it's close to the head, so you can tell that's a tight braid unless the feathers got wet or something. But most of the time feathers don't. And then you see the little the little circle on it. Remember that circle, because when you look at the Mayan Codex, which is right here, you see the circle on the hair also, and it's showing you that these are black people. You see the lip. It's like Sambo, because that was their like so-called racist thing. But you see the hairstyle, and then when you look at the Himba tribe, you see the same exact hairstyle there. And there's more.
So you're saying the Himba ended up in America?
No, I'm not saying it's exactly the Himba, but that hairstyle. I just say the Himba hairstyle because that's what they call the hairstyle. It's called the Himba. But I'm not saying it's the particularly descends from exactly the Himba tribe. That's just what the hairstyle is called.
Let me bring this on. Let me bring this on. Ditso, go ahead, Ditso.
All right, okay. Let me mute myself.
Do I have to? Good evening, pretendians. Oh. Okay, first, is all this presentation of this video just photographs and then associating with other photographs?
That's what it all is. It's just photographs and association with other photographs. That's what it all is.
Okay. So
no carbon studies, no archaeology, pulling up bones and doing carbon date. None of that. Just photo.
No. Okay. So should I say it or do you want to say it?
No, say it.
This is a whole bunch of bullshit that makes up absolutely nothing more than just a whole bunch of charlataneria. That means absolutely nothing. It's bullshit. I mean, the hell you chose the Olmecs? Because at the end, could any of these people tell me the names of civilizations and people that were here, pre-Europeans, outside of Mexico and outside of the Aztec and Mayans? Could they? Because I can tell you about the Chorotecas, I can tell you about the Chicha civilizations, I can tell you about the combination of the Walt languages that were moving through Central America. I can talk about Caral Supe in the what is today Peru region. That was before the Olmecs. We can talk about how many different what people would call the Incas, which actually they're not Incas per se. Well, it's a name that was given to them. But how they widespread in that, and then you have hell. You even have indigenous groups that today don't have a particular name to them, known to modern languages and modern civilizations in Brazil that have had no contact with humans so far in their existence. So I mean, the hell they're choosing the Olmecs for? It just don't make any sense.
Let me pass it. Let me pass it to Carl. Go ahead, Carl.
Yo. Oh yeah, hey, shout out to y'all, man. I just wanted to say what the brother was saying about how the those type of people really can't get braids. And I guess he was trying to explain that the Olmecs were us. I was just in agreement with him, and I just wanted to say that. That's why I came up.
Also,
you saying I guess non-black people can't get braids?
Can I throw some real
What
quick,
I'm
guys?
saying is, what I'm saying is, right? You can't have braids to the head like that. You know what I'm saying? for too long if you're not black, because our hair's so tight and coarse. It'll attach. It goes to the scalp. You don't really see that many people outside of black people with coarse braids tight to the head like that. It's their hair straight, so they really can't do it.
Come on now.
So white people don't get braids?
You don't know how long they had the braids in there?
Not to the scalp. Not like the Olmecs had it to their scalp. No.
So but when you braid along the scalp of the hair. Like if you're braiding, like
I think what he's trying to say that
they had it braided to their scalp.
Like those are real tight.
Other people don't get it.
That's
Those
a
are to the
fixed
scalp.
image.
Those
That's
are
a fixed
African.
image. So how do you even quantify how long they had the braids in the hair to say, oh?
But why would they fix it to the scalp?
So when you see a non-black person with braids, you've never seen it tight.
I've seen it tight, but I don't. How long that's gonna stay in their head?
Well, even the fixed image though, you don't know if that was just. I mean, we talking about an image. Like the image exists for a long time, but that doesn't indicate that whoever the image is depicting had braids for a long time. If that's your argument, let's say we going along with the idea that a non-black person can't have braids for a long time. Well, you can't look at this image and then say, oh, that person in that image had braids for a long time.
Plus, another fact: a lot of these images, especially the ones that have been found archaeologically, much of them depicted religious or any other important event, and in those events they were using headwear. So the depiction of headwear on a 2D surface would appear to somebody who may not be aware that that was a hairdress as braids in some occasions. So again, the argument in itself falls on its face when looked into the details. Like they say, the devil's in the details.
I'm sure you can find a picture on the internet of a non-black person with.
I just pulled up a bunch. I'm not even gonna waste my time for it. I'm not
like
issues.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
But we keep saying non-black, but in the Mayan Codex they're painted as black. And right here on this picture that y'all see, sure, you can tell that they knew the difference between an African that was actually black and a Mayan that painted. Mayan that painted herself black.
Could you cite where that mural
with the hanging lip, like how they did in the other photo, or with the braids? You could
Could
tell
you-
those are hairdressers.
Could you cite where that mural is from?
This
Where
is
was
in
it found?
Mexico.
Where?
I don't know
Where?
exactly where, but
When?
it's there. You can look it up.
So
it's in the Mayan
how-
Codex. We're all over the Mayan Codex. It's not just one photo. It's just the one photo for this video. You can just look
See,
up
that-
Mayan
that-
Codex.
That's my problem. The video you're citing does not have any sources. So
The video
you tell
has
me I do not know.
I just told you can look in the Mayan Codex. This is not like a one-off thing. It's all over the Mayan Codex. You see
Where were the Mayans located?
in Mexico, central Mexico to be exact.
And where else? How far did they? How far
I'm
did
not
the
an
region
expert in the
expand?
Mayans. I said that
Okay.
earlier.
The
Are those
Mayans.
even humans being depicted?
So let me just answer this. The Mayans were situated in what is today modern day Yucatan area, Guatemala, Belize, and partially Honduras. They reached up to Honduras. So again, not even knowing the expansion of where that area, where those Mayans were at, you told me look for the Codex of Mayas. You know how
Just
many
look at
codex
the Mayan
we found?
Codex.
Do you know how many Mayan codex we have found? Which one?
Anyone, they're on most of them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is not a one-off thing. This is
Never
not like
mind.
I'm just picking. You see these people, they're portrayed with braids. That's not feathers on top of their head. You see this one, you see that it's a hairdress. You can see the difference. And the guy that I showed you earlier, he had an afro with the peak. That's not a Native American feature. And you see the lips, you see the nose, you see.
If I
And
can
then
add to this conversation, just to
Go ahead, Shaw.
so Ivan Van Sertima, I found out recently from a sister who is a professor and used to spend a lot of time with Dr. Ben at Cornell University. But from her conversation with him and the word that was around is that Ivan Van Sertima really, with regards to discovering this connection between the Olmecs and Africa, really did just take the work of another anthropologist, something Von something was this other guy. He was around at the turn of the century, early 1900s. That this guy, he's the one that did the primary research, and Van Sertima got that information from him, and he wrote the book They Came Before Columbus. But in that book and the information that is presented does give information that relates this connection between Africa, ancient Africa, and in fact, I want to say Nubia and the Olmec cultures. And they lay it out. They give some evidence to it. Now, I'm not saying that it is accurate. I've never read the book, but I remember when he was lecturing on it, when the book came out, and he was lecturing on it, and the information that was being, kind of presented sounded pretty sound to me, like there was something there. I'll just put that out there.
I read the book, and honestly, no, there was nothing sound. It was too much speculation, too much fabrication, not sufficient archaeological study. It missed a whole series of elements into what they were presenting. It has been deemed insufficient in many ways. Sure, it may sound nice, but when looked into detail, it's just a whole bunch of mess going around that makes a whole
Can I
series
ask?
of claims not backed up.
Can I ask a question? What's speculation about classic Samboism? I mean, they literally depict them with red lips and black skin like that. That's how black people always been described as. That's how they depict us in Europe. That's how they depict us over here during, Jim Crow. That's how they depict us in the Mayan Codex. Like, it's classic Samboism. That's how you depict a nigga with black
Bro,
skin
that was
and red
so
lips.
long ago.
They always.
It's hard to.
So what's the difference?
You can't make that comparison, bro. It's the so many years
I
are
can't
in
make that
between that.
comparison because
You can't
it's
use
what you
that.
see. My eyes are
Yeah,
not
but
fooling me. They depicted what they
it's
saw. Black
a
people,
different
very
time, a
black people.
different place. That would be hard
Isn't
to make that argument. I don't. It's no way.
but what I'm
I mean,
saying is
it's not really a leap to think that human beings.
your eyes are not fooling you. Your eyeballs are not fooling you. So it don't matter if it's 2,000 years apart. If I see the same type of black person, right, and I see them with the same form, I'm gonna depict them the same way. Black with red lips, and they feet gonna be white because they skin so black. So that's how I'm gonna depict them, and that's how black people always been depicted. I don't see the confusion.
Why red
Well, hold on.
lips?
Hold on. Do you know what pareidolia means?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what pareidolia means? Pareidolia.
No, I don't know.
Okay, pareidolia is a psychological condition that we all humans have, which, because how our eyes are set up, how our brains receive information from from what we observe, there's a tendency for perception to impose meaningful interpretation or nebulous stimulus, usually visual, to things that are not what you want them to be. So, for example, when you look up in the sky and you see a cloud that looks like a little bunny, that's pareidolia. When you're looking at this type of pictures, in this sense, you are interpreting those pictures through the eyes of modernity.
Yeah,
So
it'll be easy to say those aren't even humans.
Exactly. So, on that sense, what you just said is actually a manifestation of your pareidolia. You said to us, look with your eyes. Look, they're portrayed in the same way they have portrayed us in the recent past. No.
But are my eyes fooling me though? Like I like
yes,
what?
Your eyes
Okay.
can fool you.
You all right? Okay.
That's
Look at the
All right,
features
my
on
eyes
that on
fool.
those figures. They don't look
understand that.
human.
Okay.
I mean, if you're being real.
But okay,
Not
so
saying it
are
ain't.
they spirits?
There's obviously some
Oh,
artistic creativity going on in that depiction, but or freedom and license, but
They look Nubian.
okay, if
Dead
they're
on,
not humans,
Nubian. They look dead
I
on
mean,
Nubian. And
all right.
here's the other thing
Okay,
too
if
that
they're
you have
not
to look
humans,
at.
okay, I'll go
Look
with
at the
that. They
research
might
of Clyde
be
Winters,
human.
because Clyde Winters substantiates and presents Africans that were in the areas that we know of as Peru, Colombia, and Guyana. There's in some areas. He shows evidence of this. Look at his work, and if that is the case, if they can show groups from the Mande people from Mali in those areas, then it's also could be possible that you could have Nubians or Kemites that had traveled to that part of the world.
and let me say this, man. It's not impossible. It's definitely possible. We have to at least, no matter where you fall on that, you have to admit the idea that a human from Africa could end up in South America over 1,000 years ago is definitely possible. There's
Also,
there's no real reason why it couldn't have happened, to be honest with you.
Well, you got to have more than just it's possible. Anything's
No,
possible.
I'm just saying
Many
there's
things
no
are
real
possible.
logical reason
But
why it couldn't have happened.
Can I add
Well-
something? Also, there is skulls that have been found in Brazil that look African from 30,000 years ago. So this
in
is not like a
Ife,
new thing that
in
just comes.
Ife, Nigeria, early Ife, I just saw this presented by what's the brother's name? Robin Walker. He was talking about, now there's evidence of it's actually there. Corn cobs that were used to as materials in the road that this woman, this queen, she was a queen because the whole series was on African queens, and she made paved roads and she used corn cobs. Corn is not indigenous to Africa, and it took a lot of corn to use, and they actually showed the road today. They show the road where the corn cobs have been, petrified, or they're some way they printed the dirt or the concrete or whatever they did with this corn cob. So that evidence is actually there, and either Africans went to the place where corn is indigenous, like Mexico, or in this case it was the Mayans, or the Mayans went to Africa,
or wind blew some seas. I mean, just birds. I mean, there's so many different ways where
no, it's
seas
no
can end up.
wind,
I mean, no, I'm just listen. It's definitely possible. A bird
Okay,
can
well, it's
eat a
possible that
seed.
the
A bird
Martians
can eat a
came.
seed in one place and excrete it
It's
in
possible that the
another.
Martians came to Atlantis and started it in present
No,
day
I don't think
Nigeria.
that's possible. Come on, man. I'm
Well,
talking
no,
about
it's
things that
possible.
actually
It's
happen in
possible that
reality.
there's outer space people that could have came down. In fact, the Dogon say they came from somewhere else.
Okay, probable. Let's talk about probability then. Okay, not just
Okay.
possible, but
So
probability of a bird eating a
there's other
seed.
evidence of Mayan and Yoruba
I'm not
connection.
saying what you're saying. Then I'm just saying there's all types of possibilities in the realm of actual. Listen, I don't believe in aliens, so you may have. There might be a bias there. So I don't think that's
There's been
the Martian
other
thing is possible.
evidence of terracotta being found in Mexico as well. Terracotta from
Yeah.
Yoruba. That's another information that Ivan Van Sertima presents as well. So it's not only the Olmecs that has the look, but there needs to be more evidence.
How was this terracotta carbon dated?
I don't know if it was carbon dated, but I
That's
know
the thing.
that
There's just no archaeological proof. I mean, they could have brought that terracotta over during the slave trade.
The evidence is not showing that, but that's a good point. I mean,
But it's
I don't
not
know that
showing.
they carbon dated it, but they
Yeah,
certainly
it's
are
just, it's
classified.
just it's just the issue with Van Sertima and the others is just there's no. It's just all coincidence. This person looks like that. That person looks like this. There's no digging, no archaeological proof,
Right.
no carbon dating. It's none of that. They're not doing any of that. Because you can say
Yeah,
what about the white man. The white man's gonna pull up with $1 million worth of equipment. He digging, he testing. We just say, oh, this statue looks like this. Oh, he's African.
And look at that picture too, that relief. Could it be someone traveled from there, went somewhere, observed something, came back, and sort of reported their sightings in that type of way? That could be a thing. But I think what we can agree on is if you look at all of the quote unquote evidence, right, that's out there, right, with what's depicted of black folks, right, what we would consider a depiction of black folks, we can kind of say it's more exceptional than actually the norm. Like there's no overwhelming, depictions of
but
African folks. So it seems like something that was, if it happened, it would have definitely have been like something that was exceptional. Like it wasn't just the overwhelming norm. I mean,
right. Well,
otherwise we
we
would
do
have
know.
way more evidence. There would be way more depiction. There's so much art. There's so much, history
Right.
and archaeology that was,
But
it just doesn't
what we do
amount
know, I hate
to.
to cut you
We
off
wouldn't be
though,
having this
but
conversation
what
if it was overwhelmingly, the evidence was overwhelmingly in the favor of
what's your point? What's your point?
my point is I can concede that it's possible that Africans ended up in the Americas somewhere at some point prior to slavery. I don't think that Africans or people who share the majority of African genetics were indigenous to the Americas.
Okay, so all I'm saying is the evidence that's out there is in some of this reading information that has we've been talking about. That would be Clyde Winters, and he does this earlier African presence in America. I'm calling it that. He doesn't call it that. And then it would be this German guy. I think it's a German anthropologist that Ivan Van Sertima got his information from, as well as Ivan Van Sertima's work with regards to I think it was either the Aztec and the terracotta stuff with the Yoruba.
Isn't it?
So there's excuse me. So that's that information, and I'll end with this. There has been clearly a concerted effort to keep Africans' contribution to the world in the continent of Africa, as well as any other influence or interactions in other parts of the world. They have tried to eliminate African presence and African contributions in every way. And this would be another example, could be another example of them doing that. People wanting to not have Africa having connected with the Olmecs in that way, or being the Olmecs or part of the Olmecs. They would not want to do that because of racism. So that's another possibility that we have to look at if you want to be real about it.
Who do you think would be the keepers of at today, as the world stands right now, with knowing that truth is so vital to the furtherance of humanity and everything that you have to build a foundation on truth. You have to have truth to build a reliable future, right? To contemplate a reliable future. So as the world stands today, who would be the keepers of that secret, right? And why?
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna make this simple. I wish the person who had brought the images or that video of only images and showing the Maya Codex would have at least minimally cited which codex it was and which page it was on, so I could have an easier time looking into my records of the Codex Maya and not having to get up off from my computer and having to go look into my books. Anyhow, let's be honest. First, as I said before, there's a whole bunch of pareidolia here. Second, funnily enough, all these supposedly people who are exposing this are either U.S. citizens or European citizens. I wonder why. And third, if, let's just take this big if, and let's just say that modern human presence here in the Western Hemisphere was in majority African, of different civilizations during that era. Why these people who are saying this type of things haven't gone out to the field and looked for the archaeological evidence that would at least initiate the study on this particular subject? But another thing, why are the haplogroups of mtDNA so different here in the Western Hemisphere from the indigenous people to the African mtDNA? You know.
Well,
That
you
would,
know, they did do that whole big thing came out where they found early African presence in South America. They found the Twa people in South America. They found their skull, the fossils and the skull shape, which is unmistakably African. And there's some other places too that they found evidence of early African presence
I
in
haven't heard of that, but I've
yeah,
heard
there
of
was a whole
rock art in
documentary on that.
Brazil.
I
I would
remember
love
seeing that. There's a whole
Aboriginal rock
documentary on it.
art in Brazil that's 26,000 years old.
So again, I would love for this type of conversation to happen with sources at hand, because in that way, people like me are able to decipher where that source is coming from, how it's being presented, etc. Because what you're saying about, I've heard of it. I remotely remembered qualified as a complete and utter fabrication, and that it doesn't. See, this is the problem. When you're speaking on this type of issues, at least the base of it is memorize what is the source, find it, keep it in your documents. Whenever you're talking about it, present it. Because now
Okay.
I'm forced to then go into try to figure out, because you gave an ambiguous,
Oh, hold on,
oh
hold
look
on.
here and there and there this found. You see
Are
what
Do
I
you
you
mean?
agree?
referring to the Twa
Do you
skull or the
agree that
rock
the
art?
Twa? Do you agree that the Twa populated the world?
Well, Shaw, just show your sources. That's all he's saying. Like, it's just show your
Right.
sources.
Okay, so this conversation was not really, the topic wasn't about this specifically, and I wasn't ready prepared to do that.
Or just bring
But
it. We'll just bring it next time.
I'll do that. But if he doesn't agree that the Twa populated the world, those are African people. They populated all of the world.
Yeah,
And
I
if
don't
he
really
doesn't,
agree
Yeah,
with that
and
either.
if you don't agree on that, then you're not in the ballpark of having a conversation about human population in the world. So the
I
first
mean,
peoples of America were the Twa.
you don't have to necessarily believe that.
Hold on, Kasha, because then I got to pass the set to before you. All he's saying is just show the archaeological evidence of the Twa in South America.
I think the Biri Biri
So
is descendants of the Twa, his own people.
okay, hold on. First,
I mean, if they populated the world, then
you
of course
made
you're
a
gonna
you
think
made
that.
a you made a claim that the Twa people, also referred as the Batwa or Mutwa,
Possibly, yeah.
supposedly conquered the whole world.
Did you say conquered?
Well, mobilized, or whatever you want to use in that terminology.
Migrated across the whole
Settled,
world.
migrated, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your source for that?
The source for that is that there are 6 developments of human hominids. And these 6 developments, all 6 of these developments, the last 6 that lead to who we are, Homo sapien, are all found on the continent of Africa. Only 3 are found outside that are in line with these hominids. We're not talking about Neanderthal or Denisovan that are found in Europe and Central Asia. We're talking about the Australopithecines, all the way to Gracilis africanus, robustus, Homo erectus, Homo sapien, Homo sapien sapien. Well, the first Homo sapien is the Twa people. Here's the other evidence: the most diverse mitochondrial, the female DNA, the most diverse in the world, comes from these Twa, Khoi, and San people. They're the oldest. They're the oldest. They're the oldest DNA. That's the L haploid groups: LO, L1,
But
L2
those three groups are
haplogroups.
they're completely different in 3 different regions.
They're
So
not
which one
completely
is the
different.
oldest?
They're not completely different. They are in the same branch, in the same family.
The
They're in the
Twa are
L haploid
pygmies,
groups,
and the
and
Fan people are normal
so
sized people.
no, they're not. They're short. They're short bloods in the desert. They're not normal
They're about on
size.
average 5'7" to 5'9". That's a normal size human being.
No, they're not. They're shorter than that.
Show me the average size of the Sand
Right.
people. Please
They're
look
shorter
that
than
up.
that.
Okay, so
They're shorter than that.
first,
And they're the older branch.
so first, let's again.
Hey, you got 30 seconds. I got to pass it to set
Yeah,
too. We got to close out.
yeah. I'm just gonna say, you made a whole series of claims in regards to the Twa people and the origins of different hominoid species, and you pretty much said all happened at the same time. There's a series of chronological time frames, and look, this is a extended conversation, and unfortunately, I'm just gonna say, because short of time, everything that you said is wrong in every single level of the information that we have of human and humanoids evolution.
That's the prevailing thought of science today. Until someone finds more information to refute that theory, and by the way, Sheikh Anta Diop, who sort of piggybacked on Leakey and some other anthropologists at the time,
Well, he didn't
he
piggyback.
contributed to that immensely. Again, this is the prevailing thought of where humans came from and the evolvement of humans, right? And so if you are arguing this point, then you let me know that you are in some pseudo understanding.
Well, let me pass the mic to Set Two. Go ahead, Set Two.
Yeah,
All right, so
go
I'm
ahead,
just gonna
because
just jump right in and say thanks everybody for participating and also listening. I've been listening to this debate for like couple of days now, and last time I contributed, like said my piece. I think um, like the conversation we could have like passed this debate that's not taking us to the point or the goal. uh, at least the goal that I'm like, expecting from this panel is like to, connect, unite, and share resources. And then I am originally from Senegal, West Africa, and born and raised. And then English is not my first language. And I'm just gonna piggyback on what Shah was saying. I got something on the background. It's like the research of Sheikh Anta Diop, and wanted to share it with everybody. But my goal is not to, I'm just giving information. And if you're not African, it's okay. This is for African people, for people that are African and that believe that they are African, even though sometimes it's hard with, history, past, and struggles and sacrifices that our ancestors have like endured. That doesn't negate the fact that we are all African. And I think even free game, end up, letting go. And then I think I hope that he will travel with Dynas and be exposed to, that positive energy, that love, and all that. So this is actually a presentation of Sheikh Anta Diop.
Hey, what we got to do? Hey, so because we got to close out soon, just post a link in the private chat, and then
I'll
I'll
do
put it in
that.
the main chat because we can't watch the whole thing.
I just want to show it like a little bit of it. I will share that to the chat.
All right, well, let's show 1 minute of it, and then I got to pass the cash over. Then we got to close out.
Before you do that, just real quickly, anybody that wants to debate me on a one-on-one aspect on this conversation, origins of humans, and the arrival of modern humans in the Western Hemisphere, if Prince is interested and lends us the thing, I'll 1v1 anybody.
Okay,
Because
all right. Let's get to this because we got to close out. Go ahead and turn this up, Setsu, because we can't hear anything.
Okay, 1 second.
When is this from? What is this? What year is this? Can we get a preface of what this video is?
If you listen, you will hear, man.
Huh?
Yeah, we can't hear it. Let me just post the link to the in the back chat, and I'll I'll share it in the main chat.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, let me.
That's a good video too,
Yeah,
Dinus.
I know. I've seen it before.
Very good one. And I think, a lot of people need to maybe like listen to it and then, get the information and then move like forward and, have so much respect to everybody in this panel, like all the people, but I'm not here to like bring division. I'm just here to bring unity. And I think, Dinus, what you are doing is great, hosting people, like getting them like first like touch base with the continent and all that. It's great, and I think people like you need to be like supported in what you guys are doing. But I see that there's a lot of backlash on the ground, that like people that you maybe sometime taking a trip will come back, and instead of like growing the network, they bring division, and I don't appreciate that. And I think we need to like follow the path that you have. I've been following you for a while when you went to Mali, connected with those knowledge, and it's amazing. And I think people need to respect that and pay tribute to what you are doing, and also like try to tap into your connection to bring the connection, in a higher level. That's all I want to say.
All right, for sure. Everybody, let me read these super chats. DJ AK, Mr. Sandman, thank you for the 499 holla. The last ice age was 10,000 years ago. The ocean levels were way lower, and Africans could have made it across the Atlantic on small boats.
Excuse me.
Island jumping. Blackjack 38, 499 holla. Why can't black men put as much focus on economics and fixing their communities as much as we deal on speculating who we were thousands of years ago? Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty, Search for Huru. Peace.
Peace.